What's up, guys? Greg from East Coast Dice, and I've got a STX Superpower and a STX Proton Power strung up to show you guys. Start with the Proton Power, since this is something that people ask me a ton of questions about. So this one's strung with white 15mm East Coast mesh. That's the mesh with the same size diamonds as Jimalac's hard mesh, but coated in our special formula. So they sent me this orange Proton Power. One strung up with a navy blue triangle top, 2 straight navy blue shooters, and 1 navy blue U with navy sidewalls and a navy bottom string. Their request was sort of a bag mid pocket. So when I say bag, I mean an undefined pocket that's more long instead of one that's really steep incline. You can see with these next to each other, well, this one's much more baggy. You can see the pocket goes from about here to here, so the balls shift up and down a lot easier. A lot of players in indoor and NLL and stuff like that prefer bag pockets. Really smooth release when you have a baggier pocket, but a little bit less hold and a little less whip, and it'll move around in the pocket a lot more on you. So they wanted it more baggy, so once it breaks in, it should be a little bit more baggy, but it turned out really nice mid pocket. Proton Powers, people ask me a ton about stringing because they're just a pain for how popular they are. I know I looked on Lacrosse Monkey the other day, and it's the top selling head of all time on Lacrosse Monkey, and I think the Stallion and a couple other heads are up there, but this one's the top selling head of all time, and it's just kind of annoying to string. There's not a lot of sidewall holes. There's really only 2 functional bottom holes, and I like to use 4. The sidewall holes at the top aren't that big, but you can still, many good players have played with the Proton Power, so it obviously isn't that bad, and it can still be worked around. So for all you that are curious, this is how this head is strung. But I don't recommend this stringing for most people. If you don't like baggy pockets, you won't like this specific stringing. But did tie second, then interlock, 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 then a 2 interlock, then just a 1, a 1, and a 1. So that's going to make the pocket really undefined, kind of baggy. If you wanted to define it a little more, you could switch this 2 interlock to a 1 interlock, and then maybe double or triple here, and that would make kind of a mid-low pocket. If you want to make a little higher pocket, switch this 2 interlock with a 3, and maybe go 3, 2, 1 or something like that with a longer bottom string. Try a couple of those out. And then the bottom string, I just went from the sidewall into the bottom, up and around, back out the sidewall. So nothing too fancy there. Let's see. And then I've got an STX Superpower that strung with white 13mm East Coast mesh. They wanted the red triangle top with red sidewalls, 2 white nylon shooters, and 2 red U's. They wanted the shooters in a P34 configuration with the 2 nylons stacked up on top of one another, with the 2 U's right under that in the 5 and 3 configuration. When I'm doing 2 nylons on top of each other, I like to barrel them. You can see there's a barreled, not weaved. Makes it a little smoother release. Makes it hit a little less hard. So they wanted a mid pocket with a nice channel. So you can see this is a really nicely defined channel, really flat in here right outside the 5 diamond U, and then pretty steep, creates that channel. Should be just about a ball's width when it's all said and done. Looks really nice. This should be a really good overall performing pocket for really any player. I'll tell you guys how it's strung. Remember, this is 13mm East Coast mesh, so a little smaller than what regular hard mesh would be. But to the top string on the first hole, tied onto the second hole, and if you can see that right there, there's like 2 loops that I tied that first mesh hole onto the second sidewall hole, so just kind of like an interlock there. Then skip where my knots for my shooters are, 2 holes in there, interlock, then a 1 knot. I did that knot to pull it really tight, so I could just get that mesh hole down as tight as possible to create that channel. Then a 1. Then a 3. So the 1's going to start to create the pocket, then a 3 is really going to make it nice and deep. And then just a 1, a 1, and an interlock with bottom string really nice and tight, so it'll only go so low when you cradle one-handed and shift back up when you want to shoot. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more stream videos and tutorials, and like us on Facebook.